Welcome to the channel. My name is Amma, or at least that's the name that some of you know me by, okay? And Amma is a name which means that the child, which is a girl in Ghana, was born on the Sabbath or Saturday, all right? But for the others who know me, you know my real name, all right? But I welcome each and every one of you, regardless of who you are, if you know me personally or if you are a subscriber, friend. I thank each and every one of you for tuning in on today. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I am just here to give you some great news for everyone. It's great news for everyone. And then I'm also here to give you some good news, or great news again, for everyone. But that same great news is going to be not so good news for some. Okay, so once again, welcome to the channel. In fact, it's going to be very bad news for some. Okay, so what's going to be great news for it should be great news for everyone. It's going to actually turn out to be bad news for some people. Okay, many people. And so I haven't decided. Well, you know what? I'll just give you the great news first, okay? For everyone. Everyone should be happy about this news. So once again, welcome to the channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And for those of us coming up on Sabbath, regardless of where you are in the world, for some it may already be Sabbath, Shabbat Shalom. But I thought that this was a wonderful time to go ahead and put this information out here. All right, so great news out of Ghana. All right, the Lands Commission. Many know if you have purchased land, and once again, if you have been listening to my channel and you have been paying attention, land in Ghana can only be sold legally to those who are legal residents of Ghana, and there are strict ways in which you can qualify to be a resident. If you haven't seen my recent shares, please go back and watch it, guys. In times past, the process that we were given was much simpler. Okay, and now they have changed that rule. Okay, it has been changed, they say, for the last 2 years, but they have not been carrying it out for the last 2 years. All right, so please go back and listen. Do not purchase land in Ghana if you are not a resident or a citizen. It is illegal. It is against the law. So go back and look at those shares, listen to them, and see what it takes to own land in Ghana. All right, but for those of you who have, you need to listen to this, because the president, straight from the president's desk, he is resetting the country, as he calls it, and his latest project that he's speaking about is the Lands Commission. Okay, and so back in July, the new Lands Commission minister, he announced that in December, or by December, that they were anticipating that every region of Ghana would have its own, or every district, which is even smaller than the region, right? There are 16 regions in Ghana, but every district, most people stay in the Greater Accra region. There are many of you who are in the central region. That's where the Pan-African village is. Then there are some who have purchased land in the eastern region, but Ghana has a total of 16 regions. Okay, so what they have announced, that within those 16 regions there are districts, and that every district will soon have its own lands commission. That is wonderful news. That is excellent news, because they're decentralizing things where you don't have to drive all the way to a to a lands commission office that's, Lord knows how many hours away from your home. It can take hours, especially with traffic in the roads in Ghana. Something that should take no more than 30 minutes or an hour, it can take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It can take forever. Okay. All right. Even if you live in as far out as Prom, you still have to go all the way into Accra. Now, if the roads were completed, and they are working on them as they have been for the last several years, but they've made some progress in recent months. If the roads were built coming from Prom or New Ningo to get to Accra, should not take you any more than 30 minutes on good roads. Okay, good roads, highway roads. But right now it can take you 4 or 5 hours in some traffic. all right, on some days. There have been times I've taken that route and it has taken 3 hours going, 4 hours going, 3 and 4 hours coming back. So you spent the whole day. You pretty much spent an entire shift in traffic. All right, so having a district office in each area of the Lands Commission is wonderful. Okay, so that's the great news. And then in addition to that, they are going to digitize everything so that it takes away a lot of the corruption, and that's his aim, to deal with the corruption in the system. In addition, they hope to do a turnaround of 30 days for every land registration. 30 days. All right. So now, how is he going to deal with that corruption? This is bad news for some and great news for everyone, but for some people, it's going to be bad news. All right. So the bad news for some, but great news for everyone, but for some who fall under, let's just say on the bad side of things, the president has ordered an audit. Okay, of all land sales, particularly those between the years 2017 and 2024. So if you purchased your land between 2017 and 2024 in particular, he's doing all land sales, but if you have purchased your lands between those time periods, 2017 and 2024, he has ordered an audit. Okay, he has ordered an audit of all land sales, but particularly those state lands that have been sold. Now you may say, well, that doesn't impact me. If state land has been sold, how does that impact me? It does. Okay. State land that has been sold to developers. Okay. Land that the state allotted for projects such as farming. Ghana has a program called Farming for Foods and Jobs, which set aside land for that project only. Many of those lands have been sold to private developers. Many of those lands are located in the central region, in the eastern region, and those lands have been sold to private developers. One area is Potin. Okay. Potin, as I told you, I knew when that land was $900. All right. And honestly, guys, the price has not gone up that much, but there are people who are selling it for much more. But that's another subject for another day. All right. But if I decide to speak on it, but the land, not all of that land, but many plots and many acres in that area have been allocated for planting for food and jobs. And then you have people who have taken that land and sold it to private developers. In addition, land that has been allotted for schools. There's a school in that area as well that has been on the news several times stating that the land, I think it's a Muslim school in that area, the land in that area, they are using that land to sell to private individuals, but that land has been granted to them by the government for the purpose of the school. All right, so that's not the only area. You find this all around the country. They are auditing every sale, okay, but particularly they are looking in on land that was owned by the state or land that has been given for a specific purpose, but it is now being used for other purposes. Even W.E.B. Du Bois was a subject, museum was a subject of this audit back in 2024. It wasn't an audit then, but it was a discussion. Now, it was found out that what was stated was not accurate, but it took an audit to find out, and it took the people at the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum speaking up and saying, no, we have an agreement with the government of Ghana, but this is the terms of our agreement. It is not as it has been stated by a member of parliament who is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So guys, this is something that we need to take very, very serious. They're not giving any favors or showing any favors. That's why I mentioned the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum. They're not showing favors to anyone, okay? So many people have purchased land that has been delegated or delegated or set aside for the use of government use are schools or hospitals or whatever project that the government had allocated. That's the word I'm looking for, allocated. All right. The land has been allocated for those purposes, but it has been sold through corruption to private developers, okay, and businesses. And so what this president is doing is resetting Ghana. His goal is to deal with the corruption. He has 4 pillars of this message and of this mission, and he's on it. Okay, guys. And so if you have purchased land, or if you're planning on purchasing land, one, if you're not a resident, a legal resident, not just holding a resident document as some people are, and are quite bold to come and speak about how they did not qualify for their residency, but paid a bribe. That's what it is. If you pay someone for something that you do not qualify for, they know you do not qualify for it. It is a bribe. It is corruption. And so what they are doing is looking and auditing every sale, but particularly those that involve state land and any sales, because they are resetting the country to do away with the corruption, particularly in the area of land at this time. Okay. And so his goal, he says, is to restore confidence, all right, in the Lands Commission, because it has been voted year after year as one of the most corrupt agencies in Ghana. All right. And I think many people will agree with that. All right. So the great news is that they are going to have district offices in every area. They are also going to digitize things, and they hope to have this done by December as far as the offices in every district. They have employed 300 people, 300, to help them with this audit. So they're serious about it. 300 people that will be going out to various districts and regions and looking into illegal land sales, all illegal land sales where people did not qualify for the land and when the land was not used for the purpose in which it was allocated. All right. And so this is serious. So look into your paperwork. If you haven't done a land search, go and do a land search and see what is the status of your land. This should have been done from the beginning. All right. And also they are going to reverse every illegal land sale. So this information can be found online. They are very serious. And I hope that many of you have done, or all of you have done what is needed, but we know you haven't. You're putting it out there. We see that you haven't done. If you're not a resident, if you're not a citizen, that's the first wrong step. Secondly, if you have purchased land near waterways, they are also overturning those ecological land sales as well, things that violate. So land that even if it wasn't owned by the state, he says, if it's within the boundaries or within the boundaries that they set for ecological buffers, that sale will also be reversed. So if your home, if your land is near any waterway, Ghana has a law that your home must be at least 100 feet to, well, in some cases 50 feet, no less than 50 feet, but 100 feet from major waterways. If it's on a beach or if it's in any type of stream or any waterway, if there's a stream running by your property, you have to have a buffer of at least 50 to 100 feet. Okay. This is serious. And so some people are going to have their walls knocked down. Some people are going to have their homes knocked down. Okay. But what this does, the good news is once we get a working system in place in Ghana, it's going to prevent a lot of this. Decentralizing things is going to help that local office help you because they know the area and they know the land. And so they can better tell you, no, that area is not for private sale. That area is not for individuals. That area is within a water buffer zone. That soil is not suitable for building what you want to build. All of this information is going to be more specific to your area. So that's great news for people who are willing to follow the law. All right, so I hope that this has been a help for you. I hope that you guys are going to do the right thing. And thank you very much for tuning in, and have a wonderful and blessed Sabbath. Shalom.